body counts, and modern relationships, why it shouldn't matter. I'm a 30-year-old woman in a committed relationship. And while this subject no longer impacts me directly, I feel compelled to address a widespread belief that unfairly limits people's chances of finding love and lasting commitment. The notion that someone's intimate past, often labeled as their body count, makes them less deserving of a relationship is, in my view, outdated and flawed. I'm tired of seeing people struggle to build loving partnerships simply because they've had casual relationships or multiple partners in the past. Why should it matter if you're now with someone who loves and respects you? Why should their history define them? If a person is faithful to you today, devoted to you today, and values the bond you share, isn't that what truly matters? Judging someone based on how many people they've been with is both arbitrary and counterproductive. We live in 2024, not 1924. Men and women are individuals with autonomy. With access to birth control, consensual intimacy, and recognition of sensuality as a form of pleasure, we now have the freedom to live on our own terms. Relationships should be partnerships, not transactions where someone's worth is diminished by their past. Hookup culture is a reality for many, yet it doesn't mean those people are less capable of trust, love, or loyalty. What matters more than a number is compatibility, respect, and shared values. Speaking personally, I've had 5 partners since March 2022. My most recent connection grew into the committed relationship I now enjoy with my boyfriend of 8 months. This proves that casual encounters don't prevent real love from happening. I'm not saying everyone should embrace casual intimacy if it isn't their choice. Some people prefer to maintain a low body count for personal or spiritual reasons, which is valid. But it's equally valid to view consensual intimacy as part of one's journey towards self-discovery and deeper connection. Ultimately, compatibility depends on values, not numbers. If someone prefers a partner with fewer past relationships, they're free to seek that. What's important is mutual respect, without shaming or condemning others for their choices. A troubling experience with a friend's fiancé. Switching gears, I want to share a disturbing encounter that shows why boundaries and respect are so essential in relationships. For context, I've been close to my friend Kate since high school. Even after she moved several states away, we stayed connected. About 2 years ago, I finally visited her and met her fiancé, John, for the first time. At first, he seemed friendly. After my visit, he began texting me. His messages started off light, asking about movies or recommending games. I responded politely, but never encouraged long conversations. Over time, his texts grew more frequent and invasive. One night he even wrote, "I miss you." I assumed it was a mistake and ignored it. Months later, I visited Kate again. This time, when I arrived, John hugged me a little too tightly and remarked on how attractive I looked. His tone unsettled me, though Kate didn't notice. As the weekend went on, his behavior worsened. He repeatedly tried to get me to drink despite my refusals. Then, during a discussion about a pregnancy scare Kate had confided in me, he insulted her, calling her stupid and dismissing her concerns about birth control. His harsh, condescending tone shocked me. I defended Kate, telling him her concerns were valid and that he needed to respect her feelings about safety. His lack of care and rude attitude made me question whether he was right for her at all. Final thoughts. Both accounts share the same theme: the necessity of respect and understanding in relationships. Whether the issue is body counts or confronting a friend's partner, relationships only thrive when built on empathy, honesty, and shared values. The past should never define someone's worth, and no one deserves to be disrespected or undervalued by their partner. We should aim for a compassionate, progressive outlook on relationships, one that values genuine connection and present choices over outdated judgments or toxic dynamics. A harrowing visit, my friend's troubling relationship, and my dilemma. I never imagined that visiting my best friend would turn into one of the most unsettling experiences of my life. Kate and I have been close since high school, and despite the distance, we remained inseparable. 2 years ago, I visited her and met her fiancé, John. He seemed pleasant at first, though a bit too familiar. But on a recent trip, his behavior crossed alarming lines, and Kate's silence left me deeply concerned. A troubling first encounter. When Kate and John picked me up at the airport, John greeted me with a hug. At first, it felt normal, until he held on too long and whispered how hot I looked. I laughed nervously, chalking it up to awkward social skills. But things escalated quickly. That evening, he kept pushing drinks on me even after I refused. Later, during conversation, he ridiculed Kate, calling her stupid about a past pregnancy scare, and dismissed her feelings about contraception. His aggressive, condescending tone shocked me, while Kate stayed silent. I stood up for her, but the atmosphere turned tense. The most disturbing part came when John suggested I share their bed instead of using the guest room. I declined in disbelief, but the comment left me shaken. An unsettling morning. The next morning, Kate and I planned to go shopping, and I felt relieved John wouldn't join. But as we left, he stopped me with a smirk and said, "You're a heavy sleeper. You don't even wake up when people touch you." The way he emphasized touch made my stomach drop. I asked what he meant, but he only laughed it off. While nothing happened, the insinuation alone made me sick with unease. Kate's confession. While shopping, Kate revealed something I hadn't expected. She told me she's a lesbian and doesn't love John. Aside from a brief school fling she once brushed off, she had never said this before. When I asked why she was marrying him, she said, "Because I think it's what I should do." She refused to discuss it further, and I respected her boundaries, though concern overwhelmed me. John's escalating behavior. That evening at dinner, John crossed another boundary. As we walked into the restaurant, I felt his hand graze far too close to my backside. I moved away, but he deliberately tried to grab me again. I moved quickly enough to avoid him, but his audacity left me furious. When I confronted him and demanded he keep his hands to himself, he only laughed and made a crude remark about my appearance. At dinner, I barely spoke, silently counting the hours until I could finally leave. Later that night, Kate wanted us to watch our favorite movie before bed. Reluctantly, I agreed, and we went to her room, but John joined us soon after. What followed was an incredibly uncomfortable experience. John kept pressuring Kate and me to kiss. When I firmly refused, he started pleading. I snapped, telling him to shut up because he was ruining the evening. But it didn't stop there. John then directly asked if I wanted to sleep with him. I was disgusted and pointed out that Kate was sitting right beside me. To my shock, he claimed Kate wouldn't mind sharing him. When I turned to her for support, she seemed detached, staring blankly as though she wasn't even present. I rejected him again, but he became more forceful, even claiming I owed him gratitude for letting me stay in their home. That was the breaking point, the final straw. When I stood up to leave, John physically blocked the door, using his size to intimidate me. I'm only 5 feet 0 inches and around 100 pounds, so the situation felt terrifying. I ordered him to move, but when he refused, I shoved past him as hard as I could. He tried grabbing me as I escaped, but I managed to slip away. I rushed to pack my belongings and checked into a hotel that night. Kate never acknowledged what happened, nor did she say a single word. My concern for Kate. Kate knows about the trauma I've faced in the past, which makes her silence and lack of action even more painful. Still, I can't shake the feeling that she's trapped in a toxic and possibly abusive relationship. Her confession about being a lesbian, combined with her passivity and detachment, makes me think she's either being manipulated by John or wrestling with deeper personal struggles. Since that trip, we've barely spoken, and when we do, she acts oblivious to why I'm upset. The dilemma. By coincidence, I recently accepted an internship in the same city as Kate and John. On one hand, I feel obligated to help my friend. On the other, I'm afraid of being near John again and don't want to put myself back into a dangerous situation. I suspect Kate is either in denial or suffering from emotional abuse. I want to support her, but I don't know how to do it without putting my own safety at risk. TLDR. During a visit with my best friend, her fiancé acted aggressively and inappropriately toward me, touching me without consent, making lewd remarks, and even blocking me from leaving a room. Kate also revealed she's a lesbian, but still feels obligated to marry him. Now that I'm moving to their city, I need advice on helping her while protecting myself. Edit. Thank you for all the support and advice. I've decided to reach out to Kate, though I'm nervous about her reaction. She's been there for me before, and I want to return that support, even if it's difficult. When I first noticed odd dynamics between Kate and John, I dismissed them as quirks. Kate often accompanied him to his evening shifts, sitting for hours without reason. At the time, it felt strange but harmless. Recently, I invited her to Skype, wanting to reconnect after being distant due to my busy schedule. Her first response shocked me. "Why do you suddenly want to talk to me?" Though caught off guard, I explained I simply wanted to catch up. Surprisingly, she agreed, sounding more enthusiastic later. Before the call, we exchanged a few texts. She mentioned watching Rush and commented on how attractive Chris Hemsworth is. This startled me, since she had once confided that she wasn't attracted to men at all. I shrugged it off and focused on preparing for our conversation. When we finally Skyped, I was nervous. After some small talk, I confronted her directly about John's behavior during my last visit. I detailed specific incidents, explaining how unsafe and uncomfortable he had made me feel. Kate listened quietly, clearly unprepared. When I finished, I asked why she would commit to marrying him, especially after admitting she's a lesbian. What happened next blindsided me. Kate broke down, confessing that she had been in love with me since high school. She revealed that during my visit, she and John had been trying to orchestrate a threesome without my consent. According to her, the entire weekend had been built around this goal, with John's disturbing actions serving as part of their plan. When I asked whose idea it was, she admitted it had been hers. While John was eager, she said she felt desperate to be intimate with me and believed I would eventually give in. I was horrified. I told her firmly, but kindly, that I did not share her feelings, though I valued our friendship. Her reaction was explosive. Usually passive, Kate suddenly erupted in anger. She accused me of trying to steal John, blamed me for his misconduct, and even insulted my appearance, claiming my style made her feel insecure. Her words grew crueler until she finally told me to end my own life. At that moment, I ended the call, shaken and devastated. It became clear that Kate was dealing with issues far beyond my ability to help. For my own safety, I chose to step back. During my internship, both she and John tried reaching out, but I ignored their messages. I even encountered them once at a pop culture convention I had looked forward to. I had warned my friends about the situation, and they promised support. Despite this, John managed to approach me unexpectedly, hugging me from behind while I stood in line for an autograph. I panicked and flailed until he released me, after which my friends quickly escorted me away. Now that my internship has ended, I've returned home and cut off all contact. Recently, I received an invitation to Kate and John's wedding, a painful reminder of everything that happened. Needless to say, I will not be attending. Looking back, I realize how crucial it is to protect my safety and mental well-being. Kate's struggles are beyond what I can fix, and her relationship with John is something I can no longer involve myself in. Thank you to everyone who offered guidance and support throughout this ordeal. It truly meant the world. TLDR. Kate admitted she'd loved me for years and confessed to planning a coerced threesome with John during my visit. I've since cut off all contact for my own safety and peace of mind.